what I was saying was this pirate walks into the bar and he's struggling to get up on the bar stool. He can hardly sit down. The bartender walks over to him and he says, "You know that you have a ship's wheel in your pants?" And he said, it's driving me nuts."
So dumb.
So dumb. I love it. Welcome, everyone, back to the 2026 Kickstart Invitational podcast, where we dive into the soul of the Kickstart Invitational. Of course, your host, Kyle Steffi, alongside Carter and Justin McPhail. In each episode, we'll be bringing you the latest developments, expert analysis, behind-the-scenes interviews, exclusive insights of the Kickstart Invitational. Justin and Carter, a little bit of a hiatus out of us. How we doing?
Doing good.
We're doing good.
One of these days, I'll get a different answer.
I haven't
Stuff's picking up.
If I don't ask, Carter yells at me. But every time it's, we're good. How you doing, Kyle? I'm good.
Kyle's good. We haven't been able to record because I've been nipping the pebble and snapping the pill too much. Beats
And I
working.
purchased a home, and Justin had a fourth kid.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Back-to-back kids.
We do have a couple things that we have to get done before the Kickstart with Kyle at his place of work, but we'll take that offline. A couple of housekeeping items that have to be done in preparation. So
we do. And I'd love to tell that story here in a moment. But first, before we introduce our guest, one of my favorite people on the trip, we do have to pay the bills. Carter, why don't you pay our bills for us?
All right. This episode of the Kickstart Invitational podcast is brought to you ad-free by D1D Hockey, the premier summer hockey school in Pennsylvania. Their goal is to provide full-service camp that not only focuses on both on and off ice physical skills, but also shows and teaches the mental side of the game. Be sure to follow D1D Hockey on all socials and sign up at d1dhockey.com.
Is there a / in there, Fetty, or anything, or can we just go to the website and sign up?
No, it's just www.d1dhockey.com. That'll be right in the register tab under
Can
camps.
I register by chance?
Sadly, no, you're not in the age range, but
He might be in the skill range.
You guys have like an admin to check IDs or something?
no, you could fill out that you are within the birth year range, and I would just not know based on your name. And once you show up to camp, I would just make sure we have a adult size jersey.
Yeah, and the local authorities.
Those
I feel
kids
like
would pummel me on the ice.
At that point, Kyle would help coach.
Yeah, get lunch.
Those kids would coach me. Welcome back, Connor Fetty Fedoric, former Ferris State Bulldog, Utica Pioneer, Kalamazoo Wing, K-Wing, Fayetteville Marksman, Reading Royal, Indy Fuel, Norfolk Admiral, now currently a Tulsa Oiler, has visited 40, soon to be 41 states in the United States of America. Hawaii is coming up, we've been told. He's lived in 11, has an average round score of 99.7, 29 BFPR, which for those of you new to the Kickstart is balls found per round, and has played 1,692 Fortnite hours. Fetty, Little Fish Sticks, Connor Fedoric, welcome to the pod. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Second
Good
time
to be
appearance?
back. Yeah, second.
excited to have him back on the trip for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to come back and meet some of the guys that I haven't gotten to meet over the last couple of years, and see some guys that I have met before. I think Colin will be my second time meeting him. So Kyle, I think this will be our fourth, maybe.
Is it third or fourth?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had hundreds, maybe almost 1,000 Fortnite hours played together. Certainly. Yep. Obvious first question, ask all of our new guests. Might hit a little different with you. You've been out for 2 years, but what does the Kickstart mean to you, Fetty?
It means a lot. I haven't been able to be there the last couple of years just because career wise and everything. And things kind of changed this year where I'm able to be home for a lot of things that I've been missing at the start of the summers, which I got a couple of things that I'm excited to be able to do, but especially coming to the Kickstart and being with all you guys and getting to play again and kind of getting back up to, I don't know, just hanging out and being boys with everyone and still get that competitive aspect in with everything. So it's nice. That's what I've been waiting to do, and I'm excited that I get to do it this summer.
Betty, why don't you tell us about why you ended up missing the first trip that you ended up missing, and then why you weren't able to make last year's trip?
Yeah, so the last 2 years I was playing in Norfolk out in Virginia Beach, and our season ends the second or third week of April, just depending on how the games are scheduled, and then the playoff rounds start about a week after that. So we have a week gap, and then we get into it. And it's 4 rounds to make to the finals, and each round is a best of 7 series. And ironically, 2 years in a row, we lost in game 6 of the second round, and that was, I think, around May 20th. So, or whatever it was like a week or like 5 days after it was last year. And I think the year before it was like a week and a half after the Kickstart was. So I just missed it by not by much. If we would have got kicked out in the first round, I probably wouldn't have been able to come. But obviously we went second round, and instead of going to game 4, we went to game 6, and it added another week to our schedule, and it kind of put a hinder on things. But
Well, you could have made it in 23, right? But you broke your wrist.
yes,
Not about that.
yes,
Yeah.
oh, you're right. The trip was in
The
The trip was
in
later,
June.
so you did end up,
later.
I think the season did actually end in time, but you had gotten hurt in that last playoff series or the one
I
before.
I forgot about that. I broke my wrist in game 5, and we got kicked out in game 6.
Unlucky, some would say.
Yeah.
So
And
now
still there was conversations being had that he was going to come anyways
there was
we were talking about
as a
it.
marker,
considerations for sure.
as a pace of play bandit. Hey, you guys got to pick it up. Rules official.
I've been working with the guy that started us off the year I came. What, Big Red was what we called him. Him and
Yeah,
I would have
big,
been colluding together.
big red at the mines. You're supposed to be here.
So so with that, why don't we get into what's been your favorite Kickstart memory um from the year that you did come in 2023? What do you remember most?
I want to say not only meeting everybody on draft night, I really enjoyed when we were getting ready to start at the mines when we were on the range. Obviously, Tricky came late and I had to pick him up and meet everybody at the range while everybody was hitting balls. And then we all teed off in a row together, which I enjoyed. And we were I was the last group against Carter and Mac with Tricky. So it was kind of like we got to see everybody go. And then we kind of filled in behind. And then I also really enjoyed when we went to, I can't think of the name, but it was the brewery we went to and we sat outside.
We
We
don't
got
say
food
their
and we
name
did.
on the pod anymore.
That's fine. But I really enjoyed when we went and we sat and did that kind of thing. I thought it was a good time. And I like sitting outside and having a couple of drinks, just telling stories and hanging out with everybody. That's kind of my style. So that was those are like my 2 big ones that I always think about.
I have a possible update to that story about that brewery that we can maybe get into towards the end of this podcast. But as far as courses goes, what do you remember about each course, and do you have a favorite of the 3 that you've played so far?
I think Pilgrims was my favorite just because I've never really golfed a golf course like with that kind of like layout of everything. I really liked how it was set up, and I liked how kind of tucked behind it was with everything, but it wasn't at the same time. And I also played better enough where I wasn't hitting it into the trees, so I was kind of actually playing the course the right way, which was nice. Um, I remember the mines. The greens were very hard because we also got to do a practice
Mm-hmm.
round the day before at the mines, and I kind of learned that fast. And then when we got to actual day 1 of the trip, obviously the greens aren't going to change overnight, and I knew they were still going to be hard. So you kind of had to play it a different way, which is kind of cool.
Right.
But I just remember that was a very difficult course for me because at the time my putting wasn't the best, and I think we all knew that. And then when it was Diamond Springs, that one, I just didn't like how much heather there was. Like I really
Yeah.
enjoyed finding all the balls for everybody. And I remember when we were coming home and Carter unloaded my bag off his truck and he yelled at me. He's like, "Why is your bag so heavy?" I'm like, "Well, it's because I found 60 balls today." But yeah, once you get in that heather, it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah, for sure. For
We were
sure.
talking about Dan, me and Justin the other day. Bless him. He loves to pick things up, and we were talking about how he's got to ride with you at least one day this trip just to pick up your bag and put it into the truck, put it out of the cart, see how heavy that boy is.
Yeah, we'll see how many I find this year. Maybe I won't be in the woods as much and I won't find as much. We'll see.
Hope so.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, before we get into next year's trip and whatever, like you said, there's a lot of guys. I think now maybe half the field has never met you before.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about, just your hockey career. I know you've played obviously with me and some of the guys in the trip, but kind of walk us through, I guess, high school age Fetty,
Yeah.
hit your hockey journey, how you picked up all these states and whatever, and where you got to now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a wild journey. I everything kind of grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and I want to say my 8th grade year of high school, I was commuting to and from Cleveland, Ohio, 3 times a week for practices and games. So I can't count that as the state I lived in, but we were driving 2 hours there, hour practice, 2 hours home. Uh, and then after that, I was recruited to go to a boarding school in Canaan, New Hampshire called Cardigan Mountain School. And that school was 6th to 9th grade. So I only did 1 year there as a 9th grader. So technically, I graduated from there because they were a junior boarding school. And they helped move me on to another boarding school that was 9th through 12th grade, where I did 2 years in Avon, Connecticut at Avon Old Farms. I
Home of
left
Jonathan Quick.
after, yeah, it's his final game tonight. You see that?
Yep.
Um, so I repeated 9th grade there for the sole reason of when they do that, they want you to stay another year for athletics, not just academics. So I was taking 10th grade classes, but I was listed as a repeat freshman. And then I did my 10th grade year, and then I left to go to U18s, which was out in York, Pennsylvania, towards the Maryland border. I I did online school through home, and I actually went back to 12th grade. So my high school resume says 9, 9, 10, 12. So that's a fun fact. Um, halfway through the year, I got called up to the North American Hockey League to the Kenai River Brown Bears in Kenai, Alaska, where I finished out the year with them. And then the following year, I went back, and about halfway through the year, I got traded to Odessa, Texas. So kind of a climate change from Alaska to Texas. It was actually nice. I could go outside in shorts and a t-shirt for once. But I did a year and a half in Texas, and that's when I committed to Ferris, and I went in with Carter, Mac, and Tricky, and then also Branch as well. Um, did 3 years there, uh, back and forth between forward and defenseman. And after my junior year, we felt that it was time that I wanted to get more of an opportunity somewhere and just kind of play hockey again because I wasn't playing as much. So fortunately, Utica, out in Utica, New York, they recruited me and wanted me to go there. So I went there my senior year and graduated from there. After that, I signed in the ECHL with the Kalamazoo K Wings. Did finish the year there, went back the following year for training camp. We had a lot of guys sent down from Abbotsford at the time, which was their AHL affiliate, and it just didn't work out numbers wise. So I went down to the SPHL. I played for the Fayetteville Marksmen in North Carolina. I played 6 games for them, and then I got called up to Reading, which is out towards Philly on the PA side, and I was there for 2 weeks. They ended up releasing me, and funny thing enough is they told me I cleared waivers, so I drove all the way back to Fayetteville. unpacked my entire car in my room. And after I unpacked my car, the Indy Fuel called me and said they actually claimed me off waivers and they needed me there today. And I said, I'll repack and drive there. And they go, no, we need you tonight to be at the game tomorrow. So we're going to fly you out at 7 o'clock tonight. So I packed up all my stuff in my buddy's closet in Fayetteville. I drove to the airport and I flew out to Indy. I spent a month, 3 weeks in Indy, and we finally had 2 days off. So they flew me back to Fayetteville. I packed up my car and drove back to Indy. Spent another 2 weeks there, and they had a whole number crisis too. And they were telling me that I could go back to the SP, which they didn't want me to do, or I could be on 2 week IR, or they could trade me somewhere and I could play within those 2 weeks. And I kind of talked to the coach about that, and he felt that the best thing for me was to get traded to somewhere that needed a D and to play. And I spent 2.5 years in Norfolk on Virginia Beach, and it's been a rough year this year with coaching and everything, but I don't need to get into that. I ended up asking for a trade this year, and Tulsa was the ones that picked me up, and I've been here for the last month, maybe 5 weeks, and we got a week left in the season, and unsure on what next year is going to look like, if I want to come back or if I want to tell them don't protect me and I figure something out from there. But that's going to be a long talk with my coach and my agent at the end of the year, and we'll go from there.
Do you have any teammates of note on your Tulsa team?
Of what?
Anybody on Tulsa that we would know?
Yeah, Justin McCallion.
Yeah.
I would say.
J Mick, he's probably the 12th alternate.
Yep.
He has
I
been
don't know if-
contacted about this event before.
Yes. I don't know if you would know anybody else, actually. There is a couple
was
Michigan
the one.
boys.
That was the one
Oh,
we were
okay.
fishing for.
Because I didn't know if you know Ryan Lautenbach.
Nah.
He's from Brighton.
No.
Carter was just fishing to flex.
We were just fishing for the
12 our
J Mick,
alternates.
for the J Mick shout out.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't ask me who I played with in Fayetteville, because I played with BMIC as well.
He's been contacted about this organization as well.
Is he 11 or 13 cards?
Huh? He's 11.
Okay.
And if either of them see this and send it to me, I'll give them $20.
Max is gonna send it.
No, it doesn't count. They have to come across it naturally.
I do have a question because you've had a lot of stops. I've known you, I think, for all of them at this point.
Mm-hmm. Since
I don't
Ferris,
know
yeah.
if I've pieced this together before. I know you lived in Kalamazoo the same time as my brother did. You might have lived in Kalamazoo the same time Parker did, who you'll meet on the trip.
I lived there from March until May of 2023, and then I went back in September of that year, and I was there for 3 weeks. So that would have been the time frame in 2023.
We'll have to ask Parker because I'm pretty sure lines up.
I probably
Has
did.
PK been to any K-Wings games?
No.
Unlucky.
PK, in his time in Kalamazoo, he golfed and watched The Office.
Not
Doesn't sound
badly.
bad. Yeah.
Doesn't sound bad.
Fetty, of the, we'll I guess block it off to just the pro stops that you've had.
Yeah.
Maybe handcuff you a bit. What do you think has been your favorite stop? Just overall good group of guys, good setups, and then what do you think is your least favorite stop in your pro journey?
I think that everywhere you go, you're going to find a good group of guys that you kind of mesh with. Like, even I haven't been here very long, and I feel like I get along with these guys. Like, I've been here all year, which is nice. But I think just for me, because I spent 2.5 years there, would be Norfolk, just because it was so familiar to me, and I really knew the town, and I was doing a lot of community service. So like I knew the fans pretty well, and like it was nice being able to like talk to everybody. And I really liked the spot we were. It was nice waking up and looking out your window and seeing the waves crashing every day. So I would say the spot I didn't like would have been Reading. They've changed since I've been there, but the living wasn't very good, especially the time that I was there. And their coach was he got fired about 2 weeks after I left. And it was kind of a whole thing, because once you got in the locker room, it was no one wanted to be there and that kind of stuff because they hated the coach so much. So it was kind of hard. You got your first call up of the year, and that was like the mentality in the locker room. So it wasn't really the best dynamic. But if we're comparing just like the teams in that aspect, I would say Reading would be the worst, and Norfolk was the best at the time.
Current Reading Royal, Jake Willits,
Yes, still there. Yeah, they just clinched playoff.
Lake Superior State alum, Fair State alum.
Feds, I
What
know we got
about
a lot of hockey guys on the trip. Also,
Yep.
quite a few guys that aren't real like big puck heads. Describe your game for knowing your audience of former teammates and guys that rarely watch hockey at all.
I think I would like to consider myself as an offensive minded defenseman. I think that also changes based on the team that I'm on. Because Ferris, if you look at my stats, I wasn't so much a point guy. And then I went to Utica and I had more of an opportunity and I kind of was able to adapt to that role. And then I go back to pro and it's some teams like I can put up some points and I'm more offensive or more defensive, or some teams my coach is like taps me on the shoulder and hey, you got to go out there and fight somebody. So it just depends on the way the game's going and the coach that I'm playing for. I'd like to say I'm more offensive and want to get away from that uh, fighting mentality, but I know that that's not going to go away, especially when I had 95 penalty minutes last year and I led my entire team in PIMS. So
Fetty was the heavy. Insane.
Liam,
not on this team. We have 6 heavies on this team. I've
Liam,
never felt safer.
Liam and I were talking this weekend because I came to the realization he had never met you in real life before.
Mm-hmm.
And a
Maybe
sidebar,
even on 4.
potentially not even on Fort. I don't know. Fetty would know. Have you met Liam before on Fort? Probably not.
I think we've played like once or twice, but it wasn't a long period of time.
A Super Zone War.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But when Liam and I were going belt to Aths this weekend on Parker, your name was brought up for the trip this year, and I was like, yeah, Fetty's like just the nicest guy. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, every time I see him in the chat, it's a video of him fighting somebody.
That's a good point.
Fair. All right, our last hockey question. Can you tell the story? I believe it was your first goal in Norfolk. One timer in the slot. Do you remember that?
Are you talking about the overtime one?
I'm talking about out of the stands in the lineup.
Oh, that one. Yes. It was one of the games that I was healthy scratched for. And usually we're supposed to games at 7 o'clock. They want the scratches there by 6:30 to work out during the game, then watch the game. And I don't like to miss it. So I usually show up at 5:30 when the team shows up for at 5. And I like to just start working out early. So by the time I'm done, it's when the anthem's done and I can watch puck drop and everything. And it was the last game of the weekend. I wasn't playing. So in my head, I might as well get some work out of it. So I started doing a heavy leg day with my trainer, and we were doing everything known to man that you could because we had 2 days off after, and I knew I was going to be sore, but it wasn't going to affect my play the next couple of days. And I get done finishing my final set, and my trainer, not my athletic trainer, my medical trainer, is sprinting down from the locker room to the gym. And he gets in the gym and he's out of breath and he's like looking at me, like breathing heavy. I'm like, Darcy, what? He goes, Fetty, you're going. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, Goldie took a puck to the head in warm-ups. You need to get dressed and on the ice now. And I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yes, you need to hurry up. I sprinted from the gym to the locker room, trying to text my parents to let them know that I'm actually in the lineup now. And then I never got to give them an answer on why. And there was 8 minutes left on the clock until I had to be on the ice at the 2 minute mark for the national anthem. And I sprint in the locker and I'm getting dressed and everybody's staring at me going, what are you doing? they're like, coach is about to come in here, and they're like, why are you getting dressed? I'm like, I'm playing. They're like, are you serious? And Carzy comes in and he starts giving his speech, and he tells me, and he goes, keep getting dressed. I got out there before the very first player of the starting lineup was announced. Like the lights were already dimmed and the spotlight was on, and I sprinted out straight to the bench right before they started announcing. And I didn't play much that night. They just needed a body on the ice. So it was seventh D man, but also 13th forward kind of aspect. I played, I want to say it was like 4 shifts at D, and my legs locked up on me instantly. Just naturally, that's what's going to happen. I was ripping salts between periods, like trying to get these cramps out of my legs, just everything I could. And Carzy like, all right, we need you at forward because we were hurting on guys. I'm like, okay. I started playing forward, and I ended up popping out in the slot when Doug goes down the wall behind the goal line, and he throws a backhand no look pass to me after I pushed off of the defenseman that was covering me. And it was just a quick shot. I couldn't even see it. It ends up going high blocker past Gibson, and my buddy Ivy starts celebrating, and then that's when I start celebrating. So if you watch the video, I have the most delayed response to me scoring a goal because I couldn't see anything in front of me, and I had no idea it went in. And actually, it was with 2 minutes left, and it ended up being the game winner. I think we won like 3-2 or 4-3. It was a very close game against South Carolina.
When we get off, you got to send that in the chat if you have it.
That's
I'm sure it's somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of guy you're going to get on the golf course. You know, you might have to scrape him out of bed, put a chorizo burrito in his pocket, and stick him in the car. When he shows up on that first tee, he's ready to go. Sure, you might only need him for 5 holes, but net birdie inbound. We're gonna change gears, Betty, and try to get, now that we have a good idea of you as a person and probably an even better one of you as a player. We're gonna get into what people want to hear about. Where's the
that's
golf
fine.
game at? How much have you been playing? What kind of clubs are you using? What are we doing here now that you're down in Texas?
Oklahoma.
Is the hockey stick putter dead
Oh,
officially, or is
I
there
thought
a
you were
chance?
I forgot that you weren't in Allen.
Yeah. The hockey stick putter, I've thought about bringing it to the trip, but obviously I will be over the number of clubs in my bag, so I don't know if I will be carrying it to the course. But it would be nice to. I know it's a tap in, and I'm pulling out the hockey stick putter just to make it kind of a statement putt. But it has been retired for a good bit now. I've been trying to get used to the new putter that I have. I got it Christmas of, I guess would have been 2 Christmases ago. I think I got it, and I've been using that a lot, which I feel a lot more comfortable with because it has a balanced weight to it that the hockey stick putter did not have.
I imagine there were flaws in the hockey stick putter. Probably a good move moving on from it. That being said, I'll speak for the board and say I'm not worried about your club limit. You can bring it if you want.
Okay,
We
can.
have been on record as looking the other way of guys having extra putters. Ceremonial tap-in putters, as you will. There is
Okay,
one that
well.
there is one that has famously been passed around the trip since you've been absent, I believe.
Oh, well, that means I need to bring the sneaker head cover with it too. So, but my golf game, I have been playing a lot, especially when I was in Virginia Beach. I guess it's been what, 2 years since I've really played with anybody besides you, Carter, that one time. But I've been trying to get on a lot. One of my close friends that was in Norfolk, him and I would go as much as we could, and I kind of learned a lot from him, which was nice. It kind of helped my game because obviously I was a 26 point something when I first came, and now I'm down to 17.9 now. So I've been moving on the right direction, as you would call it. But it's been hard here. I've golfed twice. I'm probably going to golf 2 more times within the week before I head home next week. It's just harder with renting clubs and everything. And my round's $50, but if I want to rent clubs, my round's $90. So it's kind of a dagger.
What in your
And
game? What would you say other than just the opportunity to play a little bit more often, have you changed about your game since you kind of had first picked it up and the first time you came on the Kickstart?
I think my biggest thing on that trip was I wanted to hit it as far as I could every time. And I didn't really think about some of my shots when I should have. And I feel like I wouldn't say like I matured more in that, but I have a better understanding on when I need to hit, what I need to hit. It's not just, oh, I'm this amount out. I have to hit this as hard as I can. I need to understand there's smarter aspects of the game, and that's why there's a lot of guys that are on the tour and everything, and their mind about everything is so smart with the way that they do things. And I know I'm not on that level, but I like to think that since my first Kickstart I went to, that I'm a lot smarter on the shots that I take and like where I'm going to end up and that kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit. We've talked about it on maybe on this podcast, maybe offline, but that course management seems to be a big separator between who's kind of the top players on our trip and maybe who's not the top players on our trip. And so I think that's definitely an area that can improve people's games really, really quickly, even if you haven't gone and taken 20 lessons and really grinded it out on the range to get better at hitting and all this stuff. So that sounds awesome. That sounds like definitely going in the draft notes for me.
That's good.
Can we still count on the Fetty slice? Is that still out there?
Yes, it is still out there. Maybe we'll get some things straightened out before then. But the Fetty Slice has surprised a lot of people on my team, especially because no one knows my game here in Tulsa. And I teed off with one the other day. And I just knew how it was going to be. There was a tree right here, and I lined up facing the house to the right. And my buddy was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I go, "No, it's okay." And he goes, "No, you can't do that." I go, "You'll see." And I hit it. And it goes all the way around the tree and it landed in the fairway. And he put his hand up and he goes, "My bad." And he goes, "I wasn't aware." I'm like, "Trust me, you'll get used to it." And he just started laughing. And it's every time we're on a hole and I would aim over the houses knowing that it was going to come back. And he's like, "It's so automatic that you're used to it by now and you're consistent with it." I go, "It's been a lot of years of having it. So it's always going to be in my bag."
That is good to hear.
I do have a question, but before I get to the question, a mental note for everybody here. We got to get Nate and Fetty on the range together and just have a slice off. Whose slice is going to stretch the furthest and end up the straightest?
They're both so like it's unbelievable to me the consistency in how much both of them curve the ball. Like a lot of people that are slicers, they have no idea where the ball's going to start. They just know it's going to curve a lot. And both of these two guys are so consistent with the starting direction and the amount that it curves that like they're two probably of the most accurate drivers on the trip.
Nate
Justin,
is
do you
unbelievable.
remember when we played against each other? It was Cullen and I versus you and Chase, and there was that little pond in the middle at Diamond Springs, and
Oh,
it curved right into it, and it got right at the pond, and instead of bouncing into the water, it drilled itself into the ground, right
Yeah.
into the mud, and we almost couldn't
Hmm.
find it because it was probably what 3 or 4 inches from the water, but it
Yeah.
just drilled itself
Less
in.
than a foot. Less than a foot from the water, and it was just plugged straight down.
Um, is there, because I know you got to played 4 rounds, 2 Diamond Springs rounds. Is there anyone from the trip that you played with the first go around that you'd love to play either with again or against this time?
Well, I played with Tricky at Pilgrims. I played with Cullen twice at Diamond Springs, and then I was in the cart with Tricky when we did singles. When he played against Justin, I was against Mac. So I really didn't get to play with anyone besides Tricky and Cullen. So obviously, I'm excited to play with anybody. I know those two pretty decently well. Cullen obviously electronically, but Tricky from college as well. But I don't know. I think it'd be exciting to just play with anybody. I know we got a lot of really good guys on this trip, and I'm excited to meet a lot of them. And honestly, if the first time meeting them is sitting in a golf cart with them, we're going to talk about a lot about golf and life and everything while we're playing and being competitive. So I think that's an easy way to get to know somebody too.
What a good answer. What a good answer.
Is there anyone you haven't played, or is there anyone you'd like to play against, whether or not you've played with them before? Is there anyone you're excited to hopefully go up against?
Yeah, I want to go against Tricky. I got to play with him, and I like making jokes with him, and I feel like we can banter it up pretty well, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to just him and I to just go back and forth while we're golfing with each other. I think if I had Preston with me and Tricky had somebody else, I think that would be a crazy
Oh my God.
foursome playing.
The fourth guy's not going to get many words in.
Trick and Mac versus Preston and Fetty.
And you know, birdie juice is coming.
Yeah,
That birdie juice is coming.
Fetty would take his golf glove off and spike it on the ground and say, "Mac, we're going," and Mac would do the same, and they just start taking swings at each other.
That's when we're using the same ball and we're trying to figure out whose ball that is in the middle of the fairway and who's on the side. And we're arguing to say, "Hey, that's my ball."
no intent of checking them.
No,
Either.
Yeah, why
it's
would you
just a
mark
white
the ball?
ball. Yeah, it's just a white ball. We know it's somebody's.
You were a net eagle before, and it obviously didn't go perfectly. You know, you guys were close in the end, but the conductors obviously ended up pulling it out. Do you have any hopes or preference on becoming a conductor this go around?
You know what? I want to win whatever team that's going to be, but I also want to be on the team that wants me because they believe in me to, if I need to have that extra shot that we need, or even in singles or that kind of thing. So I feel like I'm going to be happy whatever team that I'm on, but knowing that what team I'm on, they're going to have that trust in me to pull that team ahead and be in those big moments. And that's what I want this year. I wasn't really in the big moments last year because my game probably wasn't as strong as it could have been. And I feel like I tightened a couple things up, and I know I still have a high handicap, but I know that doesn't really stray myself away from, if you need me to do something, that I'm able to do that for the team.
Anyone ever told you you're super well PR trained?
I was gonna say, you guys talk about my PR training. Fetty's is elite.
Fetty's PR training is good, and he also has really good answers. He's not like so obviously just avoiding the question like you.
Well, yeah, because mine are so directed to get me into a corner.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
We'll see what happens when this pod starts wrapping up and Kyle starts asking us questions. Betty, do you have? I guess we'll other than Pilgrims, you know, just the layout and it being, you know, bright and green. Do you have maybe a favorite hole or a favorite shot that you hit? You know, one that maybe you want back to try again or something like that from the trip. Just like, you know, a hole when you think about the Kickstart, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to play this hole again or try to hit this shot.
There were a couple of holes that I enjoyed. Like I said, everything was very different than the rounds that I'm used to playing. I do remember, I don't know what number it was, but it was a par 3 on Diamond Springs. And I remember I used my 3 hybrid because there was a big gap in the gully. And I somehow just got it over, and it was sitting on the fringe. And I was able to chip up, and I parred that par 3. And I never thought that was going to happen for me on that round. And I was very excited for that because we were talking about how it was going straight. I was like, what if we were talking about beforehand? I was like, well, what if I got a hole in one on this? And you're like, well, it'd be net 0. And I hit it, and I thought it went really well. And it ended up being just a little bit short, but I was manifesting that was going to happen. And I knew it wasn't actually going to happen, but you never know.
right on line.
Yeah.
That's got to be 17 at Diamond Springs, where you have to take the bridge around the gully.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
I think it was 7. It might have been. Was it right after we came out of having to get pulled off the course and then switch to the back 9?
Oh, it might have been, yeah.
I think it was. Or no, maybe that's number. Yeah, I think it's 7. It's
Well,
right there when you're about to go
17
to
is the
11.
one with the big ravine.
Yeah. But I think 7 is the one that's over it's over like a small ravine and it has that really tiny like crowned green kind of.
Yeah.
And the pin was in the back left. And I couldn't believe that anybody could stuff it on the green, let alone this guy that's like a 27 handicap.
With a hybrid.
Yeah. With
Off
a hybrid.
Off the brush tee.
Hybrid off
Yeah.
the brush tee?
Hybrid off the brush tee from like 155.
I'm going back to hockey a little bit, Feds, but I'll tie it back here. I first have to ask, of all the hockey stops you've made, what town or city or specific bar or restaurant had the best food?
Bar or restaurant that had the best food. You want
Maybe
to go
not the best, maybe
my appetite
yours.
or somebody my picky appetite or somebody else's?
Yours specifically.
Yours.
Because if we're going mine specifically, it's the
With the
chicken
best
tenders
tendies.
it's the chicken tenders at the Duck Inn in Kenai, Alaska.
The
We'd go
Duck
there on
Inn?
game. The Duck Inn. It was
$28.95.
They had buffalo chicken tenders as well. It was $14.95 actually, unless you got the buffalo, and then it was $15.95. We would go after morning skate on game days, and I'd get my chicken tenders with all the guys. Some guys would get breakfast, some guys would get the tendies, and then we go home and then come back for the game later that night. But the Duck Inn will always be one of my favorites for that for sure.
Is there a least favorite? Is there a stop that was just absolute shit and you were just eating Dino Nugs 100% of the time?
Well, you can never go wrong with Dino Nugs,
I
but
know you can never go wrong, but is there a place that
Um,
forced you to eat them 24/7?
no, I actually think the time I went with Coach Mark Kaufman for lunch prior to me committing was when we were in Amarillo, Texas, and he took me to this. It wasn't a Fazoli's, but it was a sandwich shop styled like a Fazoli's, and it was one of the worst sandwiches I've ever had. But he bought my meal for me, and we were sitting 1-on-1, and I just had to muster through that sandwich because I didn't want to leave a bad impression because that was my first time meeting him, and I wanted to go to Ferris.
Is that a violation? Did you just
Uh,
expose a recruiting violation live on
he's not
YouTube?
coaching anymore.
The statute of limitations have long passed. They got fired.
Yeah,
I don't
but you
think
could
that's
have
how
brought
that
that up
works.
way earlier. Would have saved a lot of guys a lot of trouble.
Also, I don't know how the answer wasn't just Big Rapids, Michigan. I don't think there's a single good meal there other than Panera Bread
Shoot.
and Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh,
Schuberg's?
Qdoba.
Schuberg's.
All right, I like Qdoba.
The Raven,
The Raven was elite.
Zlots,
Gypsy Nickel Tavern.
Gypsy was good. Lots was good. Or Zots. That's when before we
Yeah.
started tattoo night, we spent the day at Zots.
Oh, jeez. Probably ended that
There's-
day at Nickel too.
You're telling me going to Applebee's and getting a $5 Long Island fish bowl wasn't good with some appies?
Talking
Shark
about
bowls
going to beat
with
up
50%
post-game
off
with the
apps.
refs.
Yeah.
I'll
There's some good
never.
places
I didn't
there.
realize Big Rapids had an Applebee's with half off apps.
Look, it's such a sneaky foodie town, Kyle. I don't think you'd even understand.
Every time I've been to Big Rapids, it's B-dubs. And then one Panera stop. And I'm very anti-Panera as the podcast
Well,
listener.
the one issue that Big Rapids did have is after games there weren't many food options open unless it was
Nothing
fast food
open.
or B-dubs. But if you were going like lunch or like a dinner, there was a lot of options that were very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to eat before 6 p.m., great choices.
Hey, I'll ask you. You know, I know khaki is a golf course you've kind of started your journey on in a way.
Yep. It's got a special place in my heart, that course.
Do you have any feelings about when we decided to expand the trip by a day and add a fourth course that Khaki might not have received the thought and the chance that maybe you think it should have? That being said, are you at all aware of Stoughton Bray and what it has to offer? Are you excited to play there? Kind of what's your thoughts on all that?
I'm always excited to try a new course. Obviously, you never know what you're going to expect with doing so. Khaki would have been fun. It would have brought me back to my first time picking up those. I can't think of the name. No, it wasn't my Nike clubs. It was the Top Flight set that I had. That green and no, the orange
Oh
and black
yeah,
set when I first
Gamers?
started.
Top Flight
Yeah,
Gamers?
I think
I
so.
can't. It was my first set I ever had. They were like a junior whip to them, and that's when I started golfing with you cards. And I don't know, khaki will always have that special place in my heart where like some of the holes really helped with my slice because I knew the slice was going to come out and it was going to be safe. But I don't know, it'd be nice to go back there at some point. I don't know how much it would be for a golf trip setup like what we're doing. I think Stoughton Bray kind of seems better based on like the videos I've seen that you guys have sent in the past, especially with last year and like when that was talked about. But I don't know. Maybe one day we'll go back to the Ferris golf outing, and that'll be my fix to go to khaki one more time and play that round again. But I'm excited to play Stoughton Bray. I think it'll be a good kind of different dynamic that I'm not used to, and I don't know. I'm just excited to get out there and see what I can do on it.
I have a feeling Stoughton Bray might be Connor's favorite course.
I just had that thought as well.
No trees, no water.
I was thinking a similar thing, but where I was going with it was I want to know Fetty's thoughts on how not having to play 36 holes is going to go for somebody that, you know, probably hadn't ever even played 36 holes in a day the first time that we did
Mm.
that. And so are you excited to A, not have to do that, or B, play a fourth new course on the trip?
I That was the first time I played 36, and I think you were the second round that I played that day, and I think you kind of saw that it was getting to me, and I wasn't prepared for that. I think more so now I would be prepared if we do that, but I also do like the fact that we're doing the four courses in the 4 days and it's separated. You get a little bit of a break and kind of more time to wind down and really focus on that next round. I feel like once I finished the first round mentally when I didn't really get a hot dog and I think I had a hot dog with no bun and we ran to the next hole and that kind of shocked me and got me off my game. And I think you can ask Cullen the same thing as him and I were just kind of especially me mentally, I was just battling my shots at that point. But
Yeah.
Yeah, way to
I'm
go,
excited
guys.
that
Good
it's
round.
separated.
Here's a raw glizzy. You're up.
But no, I am excited to play Stoughton Bray and kind of have it separated and kind of really focus on not worrying about the next 18 later on in the day. You can just worry about that 18 for the day and kind of move on each night and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do you
that's a good
think
point.
do you think the amount of golf we played leading up to the Kickstart helped or hurt moving in to, I guess, 4 straight days of golf when we had already played 3 rounds in 3 days going into the trip?
You guys were on a blitz of just hitting round after round, day after day. I
Or
forgot
were
about
we
that.
nine in like 12 days or something?
We played 9 holes with Kyle and
And Ron's.
Brendan Rons, and then we played the 18-hole scramble with my dad.
Yep.
The next day we got up and drove and played the Mines practice round.
Yep. But
And then played,
we also played a couple rounds prior.
oh yeah,
Well,
we
actually, no,
did.
I played a couple rounds prior and then I drove to your house and then we did those rounds and then we went into the Kickstart. So I think those rounds helped me mentally because that was my first time ever doing a coordinated golf trip before with a bunch of guys where it was actually competitive. It's not just, hey, we got 12 guys going the course, let's shotgun some beers and let's just play golf all day and whatever the scores are, whatever the scores are. So I think playing that much really got me in the right mindset to play competitively and to be able to do this trip. I think on my body, it probably did wear down a little bit because that's the most golf I've ever played in my entire life. But honestly, if we were going to say the same thing, I'm most likely going to play as much as I can when I get home prior to coming to the Kickstart anyways. So I'm in that mindset again. But I don't know. I think physically it took a toll on me, but I'm not going to change anything. I feel like honestly, I play better hockey when I'm sore and when I can't feel my legs. So I might as well play golf the same way when I know I'm just going to fight through it and keep going. Helps me think less when I'm shooting shots. So
You guys are right. It's such a good answer always.
This guy's on a tear right now. Have you ever or do you still know all the words to Rattling Bog by Carlisle Fraser?
how could you forget?
It's tough to, but I don't know.
Let me piggyback off you, Kyle. It's been a bit, the palette has potentially changed since college. We have a lot of different options once we get to the Kickstart because, Alliance Brewing really, shows out for us. What do you anticipate or foresee your bog drink of choice being this year?
Well, you know me. I'm a big fan of Captain. I think last night, obviously, it was great having that and that kind of stuff. I wouldn't say that's my bog drink of choice. I know 2 years ago was my Lynchburg lemonades, those Jack Daniels bottles that we had. Those were delicious, but they were very sugary. Uh, I think a big thing that I went on this summer, which kind of became my summer drink, was those Surfside lemonades. I'm a big fan of those. They're not carbonated, they're not too sweet, and I think they go down pretty easily. So if that's a big thing where if we're rattling the bog, I'm probably gonna have 3 or 4 of those in my pocket ready to go, getting ready to drink it down with the boys and start stomping our feet and singing some songs.
Are you afraid at all of the potential attendance of the Twisted Tea bag?
No, I think I've gotten past my Twisted Tea hiatus that I had because of my freshman year with Max Finner. But it's been a while since I've had some Tweez, but I think it's finally at a point where I'm not afraid to get back on the wagon if that's what we're passing around and slapping, doing the bog too. So
Did we have a bag last year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I do think the Tweez might have been in the conversation for Carlisle Fraser unsung hero of the trip. I think that the Tweez got way more run last year than they did any other year other than the bags. People were destroying Tweez up in that balcony.
I was too, and I'm not even a huge Twee guy.
I don't like them one bit, and I drank
either.
probably 50 of them.
That's hyperbolic, but
I don't know.
taken.
That's what it felt like in the mornings.
Betty, we have began, the starting of the prop bet part of the trip. I don't believe we had it the year that you attended. However, I do believe that you participated in the prop bet buy-in.
I did. That was the year I broke my wrist, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
What do you get? Let's pick your brain a little bit on that. What do you foresee the potential bog rattling total to be? I guess Kyle can maybe fill you in on the rules of what an official bog rattle is for the count, but where do you think that line should be set at?
Do I get to ask what it was last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle, what was the line?
The line, I think, has always been 5.5, right?
The line, I think last year was 4.5.
And we did 4.
I think so.
It was below. We hit the under hit again. The under better.
Under only hit by a half, though.
Does the bog
Yes.
have to count as full participation between all participants?
Has to be
Or
75% participation.
I think
If
we
Okay,
that,
said
I think
14
I
of
said all but
16.
one.
And we
Now I
did
gotta
have
look.
one last year while J-Mac was on the phone.
I think that it'll be over the 4.5 this year, but I also think you need to add a prop bet of over 5.5 shower bogs.
5.5 shower bogs, or 5.5 including shower bogs.
No, 5.5 separate shower bogs.
No way.
I don't think
Because
that's.
because you don't think so? Do you not remember my first year?
I do, but
We might have done 5 in one sitting.
But there might not be. But there
I don't
not
know if
might
the
not be a
facilities are
shower.
gonna. The facilities is the problem.
I don't think that's an issue. I don't think that's stopped anyone before. I'm just
Just
going to
don't
be
know.
completely honest
Like
about
literally
it.
don't know what foresees a shower bog. Could it be a solo?
No, shower bog is 2 or more.
I don't know if we have the facilities for that, big man.
Both
Haven't
guys
seen
have
any
to be
rush hour.
naked and in the shower.
I feel like you could get a hot tub exemption on that
Hot tub
line.
bog.
You could do that. Anything
Hot tub
involving
is
water.
not a hot tub is not a shower.
In some ways, it is.
No,
If you put soap in it, it's a bubble bath.
What if they're naked? Is that a bath? Is a bath a shower?
that's a skinny dip. Everybody knows that.
This bathroom has potential. Can I share my screen?
Please do. I would like to see it.
Because I think that's another core memory of my Kickstart was the shower bogs that we had, and then we tried convincing everyone that we shattered a bottle in the shower.
Oh yeah, I did the fake can smash.
Yeah.
I could see us maybe getting 2 in here.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know, bro.
Maybe me, Fetty, and Tricky.
You're gonna be butt to butt or nut to nut in there.
I don't
They
know.
will anyways.
I've
Oh,
No, no, too intimate.
Too intimate?
One-
You could get 3
one
in
of-
there.
1 in the tub, 2 in the shower.
Is this the same bathroom?
a cuck tub.
If there's
You're gonna get us demonetized.
if there's 1 in the shower, 1 in the tub, same bathroom, does that count?
That's same flooring. It looks like.
That's master in suite bathroom with shower, soaking tub, and granite countertop.
Did we make a critical error? Is that there's no way that's the only bathroom?
No,
Sure.
no,
No, that's just the first one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, right.
No,
no chance.
not in contention here.
We'll chalk this one up
FaceTime
as a
shower
maybe.
bog.
FaceTime.
Can you do the arm wrap like it's your wedding day?
I don't know. I've seen those dorm showers, and I know there's been
Yeah.
3 in those, and those were a lot smaller than what you just showed.
Kyle, we're playing red ball for sure.
Yeah, it'll get problematic. But yeah.
No.
Red ball?
Okay, we'll
I don't
lower
think-
we'll lower the shower bogs to 3.5.
I'll play some billiards.
Anybody
You're
got
gonna
a
play-
poker
you're gonna play
set? Do
red
we know
ball
if
and
this
you're gonna be hooked.
I could bring
do-
one, I think.
I have a couple sets. If you need me to bring one, just let me know.
couple?
Well, you're
Eddie
gonna
has
need
My
you
dad
got
used to run
16
poker.
possible players.
My dad used to run poker tournaments out of the house.
Okay. Can we
Nobody asked
cut
about
that in
that.
post?
What'd you say?
We're gonna have to cut that in post. Statue of limitations. John Fedoric underground poker ring.
I never
Ollie's
name
Game,
dropped
That's a
him.
good movie.
So wait, are you nasty at poker, Fedsy?
No, I don't know how to play.
Oh, okay.
I will say the notification on Airbnb that says in 1 month is making me warm and fuzzy.
Kind of snuck up on me this year. I still want to hear Justin's brewery not to be named story.
Well, we
Yeah.
might have to potentially, it depends. There's some details that I need to iron out. But a former sponsor of this podcast has become the title sponsor of the Michigan Open Championship, and has promised the largest purse in Michigan Open Championship history. Um, Looking like it's going to be a total of $150,000 prize pool for the Michigan Open this year. So we'll see. Maybe if your boy gets a sponsor's exemption in there, because I had to withdraw last year due to foreseen circumstances. Um, if I can get myself an exemption of some sort, or get myself qualified for the event and make a big fat check from that company, then we may have to reconsider our stance, or at least I will.
Can I make a pitch to you
Sure.
for your unwon money as your non-agent? What if you get up on the microphone post-win and you read the Oakstown brewery ad far before you accept the trophy or the check or thanks to my mom and dad and wife and daughter.
Just give them a couple double birds and just say shouts out to Oakstown.
Located in Granville, the spot that hosted our golf trip in May.
We'll have to see, maybe. I don't know if I'm up for it. If I win the Michigan Open, I think I'll be down to say whatever in that post round.
For those of you
I'll
that
say
don't
it.
remember, and Fetty specifically, if you don't, I don't know if you remember, there was a brewing company that was our title sponsor a couple years ago.
Last year. Oh, no, the first one?
First, yeah. And I'd reached out saying we go here every year. We get a bunch of food and beers from you. We're going to be back this year. Is there anything you can get us as a gift for our golf trip? There's 12 of us. And they gave us 3 golf balls. Like 1 tee, Jay? Or was it like 3 tees?
I think it was like 3 tees and a ball marker.
Yeah. And we were like, that's it?
Not even one pint glass.
Not even a pint glass from the
Golf
brewing
balls
company.
didn't even have logos on them.
Wait, didn't they?
The tees did. I don't think the golf balls did. I thought they were just standard. One of the bartenders just had them in his car.
I remembered that wrong, if that's the case, which makes it even funnier.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. But apparently they saved up all the money that they were going to spend on those pint glasses and t-shirts for us, and saved it up for the Michigan Open this year. So
Well, if and when you win it, I hope you buy the boys some pizza and beer at Oakstown Brewing.
for sure. Filling station, maybe. You guys will have to come to Traverse City. No free ads.
I'd get that one.
We're getting towards the end of the show. Connor, we'll open it up to you. Do you have any questions for the board members?
Do you have
that
any
are
questions
present?
for us?
How has the trip changed? What do you need to expect that's different? What are some of your questions coming in, essentially as, the potential re-rookie of the year?
Um, I was looking at the Airbnb. I think it's going to be a great spot. Obviously, it's a little different than the one I went to, but it's also a lot different than where you guys were last year. And I never got to experience that one, so this is still kind of a house aspect to it, which is nice. No, I'm excited to meet a lot of the new guys that I haven't gotten to meet yet, just because I haven't been able to go. I actually I wasn't really thinking about it, but I'll kind of put you and Carts, you and Justin on the spot. Is where do you see me fitting in your lineup for each of you? I'd like to kind of see, what do you value me as, what kind of spot you would see me go in, and where I would kind of fit, and what you kind of expect out of me.
I definitely see in the top 8 on my team. I think you'd be valuable. You bring a lot of dots in from the sounds of it, and what I saw, 10 months ago, 7 months ago. You got some game. You can hit some shots. It's not as much of a coin flip as it was before. So, I mean, we'll see where the chips fall. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's some guys on the draft board a little bit higher up than you
Oh yeah, I
that
expect
we're
that.
going to go after. But in the same token, I think there's guys below you. So we're definitely interested over here at the Conductors.
I think for me, there's a lot of weight in being the lowest index of the quote unquote high handicappers. And if your course management is kind of the way you describe, I think you can be really, really valuable if you're paired up with the right guy. So we'll be definitely looking your way in the draft. Like Carter said, you're in our top eight. You would be in our top eight as well on our team. So we would be really excited to have you. Um, one of the things that I haven't given a lot of insight on my draft strategy, but I do think I think some people will be pretty surprised about it on draft night, and I might go in a little bit different direction than some of the past captains have gone, and you could fit into that nicely for sure.
Well, I just want to kind of pick your brain, so that's good to know from both of you. And wouldn't it be top 7 because you two are already on the team?
I said top 8.
I'm on the team too.
I know, no, I know that, but I'm saying in your draft list it would be top 7.
Well, you'd be a top 8 player on my team for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, top 8 player, yeah.
And you've dropped out last minute before. Like it's not crazy to have an expanded draft board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I
Do you
know.
guys have any games left?
We have Friday, Saturday.
All right. Well, get rid of the puck early. No fights.
Yeah, move your feet,
I haven't had
move that
one.
puck quick.
Just chip it off the glass. Get off.
The Bob Daniel special.
Yeah. Use the window.
Now there's a guy we could have a whole podcast about.
I'm sure they're out there if anyone wants to go listen to that guy talk.
I don't even know if I want you guys to have me on that podcast. I don't think I'd stop talking.
I think we have to. I think we need to hear about onion powder and fucking tarragon, whatever the hell this guy was talking about.
With the group
he
of
had to-
guys we got coming and the reunion of the Ferris boys, I have a feeling that
I need to hear about how many times somebody got tapped on the shoulder and got told Mayhew's line, get out there. Like
there'll definitely be some stories. I know Cullen loves hearing the Biffmaster story. Maybe we can goat Joey into telling it from his perspective this year.
Oh, that'd be good.
I'd love to hear onion powder told by somebody else.
As long as you can Beirut through the trough and you can score against the growling beans, I think you're going to be just fine playing for that guy.
Yeah, you don't have carte blanche out there, but
I think it would be the longest.
Matriculate down there.
It would be the longest pod in our podcast's history. I don't think Jay and I would show up for it.
That one is not going to be provided ad free.
No.
That might be audio only.
If you guys wanted to do it, and I would post it privately, but send the link to our group, you let me know.
That's the last thing we need to do is show up on Spin Chicklets.
You get in touch with some of those tech boys to talk about Joe Sean too. There's a couple of guys that could go on and on for sure.
Ed, you got anything else? Any other questions, thoughts?
No, I'm really excited. Like, I was looking at flights the other day and it's going to be too expensive for me. I was talking to Carter about it. So I'm going to end up doing the drive on the 13th. And then I'll just get home late on the 17th because we have later tea times than the year that I did it. But that's okay. I'm saving $500+. It was more expensive for my flight to come to Grand Rapids versus me to actually go to the Kickstart. So I think it was a smarter decision for me to drive, and I get to bring some more drinks, bring some stuff for the food for our pods and that kind of thing. So I'm real excited to make the drive back up to Grand Rapids and see how this weekend goes.
If there's any, 44 club members, that's a deep cut for you guys out there, if anyone gets that reference, who made it to the end. Betty might need a place to stay Sunday night on his way back to Pittsburgh in the Southeast Michigan Ford dealership area. Hit him up. You're going to meet him. You spend 5 days with him. You'll love him. Just needs a place to rest his eyes before the long haul. See you, J-Mac.
Fuck was that?
You might be on Rory duty.
I was gonna say I get it as a kid, but hey, I gotta go, fellas. Sorry, I can't tell you the end of the pod joke. Fuck.
Oh, he texted it to me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, you ready to hear it?
Wait. Are we done? Are we good?
Yeah.
Could be.
I'll tell it right now. Fetty, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Boo.